Over the next few minutes, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the oldest and honestly most powerful technologies ever invented. And the wild part is it's hiding in plain sight in your favorite songs, movies, and video games. You probably hear it every single day and don't even realize it's there.
Okay, so let's just jump right in with the question. I want you to picture three things. The main villain in some epic blockbuster movie, a huge gospel choir just absolutely raising the roof, and your favorite pop star on a massive stadium tour. Kind of different, right? But what's the one thing they all share?
You got it. It's a choir. Seriously. That incredible sound of a ton of voices singing together, it's like the ultimate special effect, and it's used everywhere to make things sound more epic, more emotional, just more powerful.
Okay, so let's get into it. How did we go from just a couple of people chanting to these insane soundscapes we hear in movies today? To figure that out, we've got to rewind the clock, like way, way back.
So it all kicks off in places like ancient Greece. During their big plays, they had these huge groups called choruses, and they would sing to help tell the story. But here's the thing. Every single person sang the exact same tune. It's a thing called monophony, and it creates this incredible wall of sound. Super powerful stuff.
Now, let's fast forward a bit to the Middle Ages. You've got monks inside these giant stone cathedrals singing these really calm, simple chants. And then some genius has this light bulb moment. Hey, what if we added a second, different melody at the same time? And that little experiment, that was the birth of harmony. It literally changed music forever.
And this slide right here breaks it down perfectly. Think about it in gaming terms, okay? Monophony, that's like a solo mission. Everybody's playing the same character, using the exact same moves. But polyphony, oh, that's the multiplayer squad raid. You've got your tank, your healer, your DPS. Everybody has a totally different role, but you're all working together to win. That's harmony. So this whole idea of different parts working together just completely exploded during the Renaissance. Composers became obsessed with getting the balance just right between the four main voice parts: the high sopranos, the slightly lower altos, the tenors, and the super low basses. It was all about weaving these complex, beautiful tapestries of sound.
And they had this really cool trick for it called imitation. It's where one voice part starts singing a little tune, and then a second later, another part jumps in, copying it. It's just like a viral TikTok sound, you know? One person creates it, and then suddenly everyone is doing their own version, layering on top of each other until it becomes this massive, awesome thing.
So they have perfected the balance. Things sound beautiful. But then, of course, composers started thinking, okay, this is nice, but how do we make it more dramatic? How do we add some real feeling to this? And that leads us to the Baroque era, where things got big. I mean, composers like Bach and Handel started pairing massive choirs with full-blown orchestras. We're talking trumpets, violins, the works. They were writing these huge musical dramas. If you've ever heard the Hallelujah chorus, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just pure, massive energy.
After all that intense drama, the classical era kind of tidied up a bit. Composers like Mozart decided to dial it back and focus on elegance and clarity. The whole point was to write beautiful, balanced music where the melody was super clear and easy to follow. It was less about overwhelming you and more about pure grace.
But then the Romantic era showed up and cranked the feelings right back up to 11. Composers like Verdi wanted you to feel everything, the most intense joy, the most crushing sadness, all of it. So they used hundreds of singers and enormous orchestras to create this unbelievable wave of sound that was designed to hit you right in the chest.
So let's do a quick recap of this whole musical level up, right? We started out with just basic storytelling. Then we leveled up by adding harmony. Then we perfected the balance of the parts. Then we brought in the full orchestra for a power-up. And finally, we maxed out the feeling stat. And that whole incredible journey brings us to today.
So welcome to the modern era. This is where musicians took a look at all those old rules and basically decided it was time to just break them. This is where things get really experimental, and where the sounds you hear on your own playlists were really born. And just like that, there was this absolute explosion of new styles. You get the incredible, powerful energy of gospel and soul music. You get modern composers using whispers and shouts instead of traditional notes. And all of this feeds right into the amazing epic scores you hear in movies and video games that just give you goosebumps. And one of the biggest trends to come out of all this is a cappella.
The name literally just means singing without instruments. And modern groups have gotten so incredibly good at this, they can recreate an entire hit song with all the drums and bass and everything using nothing but their voices.
So how do they actually pull that off? It's like building a track from scratch. First, you've got the beatboxer laying down that sick drum beat. Then the bass singer comes in with those super low notes that you can feel. The altos and tenors fill in all the chords and harmonies in the middle, and then right on top, the soprano or a soloist sings that main melody you love. It's a whole band, just made of people. It's awesome.
And that brings us right back to where we started. That same exact power of all those voices working together is why choirs are still absolutely everywhere. They're the backup singers that make a pop song feel huge. They're the sound of an epic battle in a movie. And they're the thing that creates that tense, incredible atmosphere in your favorite video game.
So, after thousands of years of this, why is it still such a big deal? Why do we still sing together? And what's next for this whole idea?
Well, the really cool thing is that technology isn't replacing choirs at all, it's actually making them even bigger. Now you have these things called virtual choirs, where literally thousands of people from all over the planet can record their own part at home, send it in, and someone stitches it all together into one massive global performance.
So, what's the big takeaway here? Well, styles change, technology evolves, but at the end of the day, it comes down to this. That basic human need to just join our voices together and create something beautiful, that's not going anywhere. It's just a fundamental part of who we are.
Which leaves us with one last really exciting question. We've gone from a single melody line all the way to global virtual choirs. From telling stories around a campfire to building the soundtracks for entirely new worlds. So it makes you wonder, right? What are we going to make our voices do next?